Simone, it's such a pleasure to speak with you. I'm Sophia Soto with the Nerds of Color, and I got to see the pilot already, and you were just radiant in it. So it's such a pleasure.
Thank you. It's so lovely to meet you.
Oh, of course, of
Thank
course.
you.
And first off, I want to ask, this was your first TV role, right?
Yeah.
Unreal, by the way. You killed it.
Unreal. Thank you. Thank
So
you.
first off, how did you feel when you got the part?
It happened so quickly, and then the pandemic hit, so it was just like the greatest amalgamation of feeling that could possibly happen inside my body all at the same time. So it resulted in sort of a deadened face at the time because I just didn't know how to process everything. But this was one of those experiences where this was also my first test. I had never tested for TV before, and so going into that process, everything was new. Everything about this whole process has been new. But then doing that and jumping into the room and meeting the creatives and the choreographer Chris Scott, I just instantly felt so comfortable. It was one of those. It was just sort of. It felt to me like it was meant to be. So yes, it's been overwhelming and exciting, but it's also felt very right at the same time.
And this is I feel like this is such a special project to have be your first one because it's such an empowering, beautiful one. And I feel like that has to be so special for you.
It is. I mean, I'm overwhelmed with it too. I don't know how I didn't see myself being on network television even 2 years before booking this. I just couldn't, I hadn't seen anybody who looked like me. I hadn't seen stories that represented the stories that really represented me, and so I didn't see it, but this came along, and somehow it's my first job, and it happens to be this really amazing, huge, monumental show that is just filled with so much, as you know, heart and laughter, but just big experiences, people at the crux of bigness, and that is finding it. I think for me, it's finding it within themselves. It's the reality show, but it's also the reality show up in here. And then also this cast. I mean, yeah, I could just keep going. I'll just keep raving about how amazing this experience has been.
That's exactly what I want. You're totally, totally good. And you said something that I really want to touch on because you're talking to the Nerds of Color. You know, I'm a viewer that looks for representation in my TV. And you are going to bring so much beautiful representation to a lot of viewers. How does that feel?
It's a similar experience where I don't know how to process it quite yet, because this is exactly the type of experience, the type of show that would have been a huge shifter in my journey of loving myself, of seeing. And it's not just that Gabby doesn't always love herself, you know, she struggles to, but to see that played out as somebody who's more than just a best friend, or more than just a character that fills the outer world but is at the center of it, that I mean, I'm almost getting emotional talking about it. I have chills talking about it, because that's the biggest thing that makes me most excited about this show. Because I'm somebody, I have imagination, you know, I get excited by things that I haven't seen yet, but at the same time, I really couldn't see myself in this world, because I didn't see it. I didn't see it in front of me. Exactly. So, well, overwhelming, exciting.
So exciting. You're going to get a lot of love. I'm so excited for you. And the show within a show concept is such a fun thing to watch. What was that like to play with?
My brain gets so turned on by that part of it, of being like, is this okay? Like, you know, she's in it, but she's being watched. But as the journey goes and she's being watched more, maybe she's getting more comfortable with it. Maybe not. I don't know. You'll find out. I mean, frankly, I think the show is, I know I'm involved with it, so of course I have skin in the game, but I think that the show is extremely well cast. And so getting to watch these people flourish in front of me, we're laughing all the time. Like I like to go to set and watch stuff that I'm not in. And I'll like have to catch myself all the time, just in the back, like with the ear, and like going like this, because I'm laughing so much. Because it's a show that that has so much heart, but then at the same time, it has a lot of room for comedy and farce and situational comedy and all that.
And I'm all for the self-acceptance and empowerment themes. I love that as a viewer. Did you learn anything filming the project along those lines? And is there something that you hope the audience is going to learn with that?
I mean, it's like, oh my God, get over it already. But like, I learned to love myself even more, like that's part of the journey in the show itself. And that was part of my own journey and I mean that on a very practical level of being in this kind of a position on set. I haven't experienced people inherently giving me power. And so to have that has been outstanding. It's been scary at times. It's been a lot of many big experiences in my body dealing with it. But I mean, it's just been a dream to get to work on.
I'm going to give you a little fun, creative question here. I want you to describe Gabby for me in your own tagline or phrase.
Okay. Go get him, cowboy. You might fall, but you might also crawl to that trophy. Go get him, cowboy. Go get him.
Love it. Love it. You killed that.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. One of my other favorite things is the second chances aspect. I think that's just such a beautiful message, and we need to hear more of that and give ourselves some love in that respect. Was there a moment where you got a second chance at something in your life that was really important and changed it for you?
I mean, I think that Gabby and I are similar in a lot of ways, but the thing that is different between us is that she's had to live a lot more life than I have. She had to grow up very quickly at a very young age. And I think that Gabby, a very important backstory for Gabby's character for me is the fact that she was the team captain, her dance team captain, and she's a leader. She's somebody who, when she jumps into something, she does it 100%. And so she jumped into motherhood 100%. And so certainly I've had moments of needing to of having doubt and needing to come forward and push through my own blockage. But at the same time, I frankly think that Gabby is like holding down the fort on second chances more than I am. Because she's had a life to live where she didn't get the things that she wanted, and now she's deciding to fight for it. And yeah,
it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
Don't we love Gabby? She's so.
We
I mean,
do.
I'm talking about myself, but like
we do.
I'm talking about her. She's just so brave, and I mean, I just want her to be in my corner. I want to talk to her about my problems.
Listen, I loved her. The moment I laid eyes on that violet, I was like, there you go. Loved her. Loved her. What was that first day like when you stepped on set?
Oh my gosh, you're the first person to ask me about that.
Oh my gosh.
You are. The first day was an exercise in fake it till you make it. Just say yes, keep going.
I feel that.
And the first day also had a scene I had to do that I was the most scared of. Out of any scene I read, it was the one that scared me the most. And it was the one where I in the scene I'm supposed to cry. And as an actor, I was like, oh my God, how do I do that? And frankly, I'm not going to tell you the scene, but frankly, the scene, tears didn't really come. But you know what? I just, in the middle of dealing with the story going on in my head and and the people that are staring at me, looking at me and whatever, I just decided it's okay. It doesn't matter. The scene's still good. I'm still acting with this person. Just because I didn't get to this result doesn't mean I have failed. And so, I mean, I was actually really proud of myself that day. Because it really could have, if I were in a different place in my life, it could have made me feel very defeated. But in actuality, no one would know. until I've told you now. So there you go.
Love that. I love that. That's really a beautiful thing and a nice experience to have on your first day, to be like, I got this. Like, I don't need to feel panicked.
No, I don't. That what will be is what's meant to be, and it's that the story is what I'm gonna say and how I'm gonna do it. So there we are, and that the story is there are no tears. So
Listen, exactly. And
frankly, to get it out of the way was helpful as well, so I didn't have to be thinking about it.
exactly, because then you build it up in your head and you get even more panicked.
Absolutely.
And then the drama comedy genre, like mixing those two, such fun for a viewer. How was it for you?
I mean, this is my, if someone were to ask me what my dream genre, to at least among many other genres, but one that I love is certainly this. So it's been as much fun as it is to watch, and what it, I assume, looks like to do. It is frankly more fun to do. And then also, because I'm an actor and I love acting, it's not just fun because of laughter, but it's also fun because of having somebody who's really pushing for something and keeps falls, and having that to push through was, I mean, it's a dream project for me to work on, a dream character, dream circumstances. So I am just grateful and excited and filled to the brim with feeling.
And the dancing, I would never be able to do that. So how was that for you? Did you have experience there? Were you just jumping right in? What were you doing?
Yes to everything. I had definitely danced before, but like, a ballroom class when I was in grad school, or ballet when I was 7 years old, so it's not like, terminology was somewhat familiar to me, but no, this has been, everything about this has been new, except for acting. I'd acted on stage, but like beyond that, everything's been new. And so jumping into it was definitely intimidating, but at the same time, I'm going to take that back, because it's been intimidating once I got the job, honestly. But the before part, I was like, I can't become a dancer out of nowhere. So like, if I'm going to dance, and if they like it, they like it. And if they don't, that's fine. Okay. I was upfront with them. And then during this entire process, what's been amazing is having the fantastic choreography team around us, who are not only exceptional dancers and exceptional choreographers and storytellers, but they are so supportive. And I mean, and truly, like you were talking about being excited about stories that have that have diversified stories within them. It's also the behind the scenes experience has been putting the mouth where the money is. It's not just saying that we're going to support you, but truly, I have felt, for example, one of the dances you see in the first episode, the one where I'm at my first dance audition with Justin, we were choreographing it, and there was this one simple move. I had to just do like a pirouette or something, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. And the choreographer stopped, and he dedicated hours to teaching me how to do this pirouette, because it was a fundamental of dance. And so I just have felt so supported throughout this whole process, and definitely within the dance and movement part of it. I can pirouette.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, I can't wait for everyone to see the show. You should be so proud of it. Thank you so much for taking the time, Simone. It was such a pleasure.
It's so lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Lovely. Have a great rest of your day, all right? Stay safe. Thank you.
I will, you too.